US drones have been bombing Afghanistan and other countries since 2001 in the name of counterterrorism. But its airstrikes have also taken a hidden but heavy toll on civilian lives. Recently, the US fired a missile from a drone at a car, killing 10 people in the Afghan capital of Kabul. US officials said the drone fired based on evidence that the car was carrying explosives.
The procedures were correctly followed, and it was a righteous strike.
Really? Is it righteous? US media investigations suggest otherwise. They found out the US military might have mistakenly targeted and killed an innocent man. And 9 members of his family, including 7 children, were killed as well. A father, 7 children, a small community blown to bits by a bomb. Try to imagine if this happened to your family. What do the remaining family members think of the US, who harmed them, who is now their enemy? To understand the impact of the US drone strikes, take the harm caused by the 10 civilians killed in Kabul and multiply it several thousand times. This is what the wars waged by the US have done to ordinary people of other countries. According to Air Wars, a UK-based monitoring group, the number of civilians killed directly by US airstrikes in the past 20 years falls somewhere between 22,000 and 48,000. Worse still, most innocent victims of US direct military action receive no resolution or acknowledgement at all. The US said it does not have information available on the total number of civilian deaths from airstrikes. An email reply to Air Wars from the Pentagon's Central Command or CENTCOM said, quote, "The information you request is not immediately on hand in our office as it spans between multiple operations and campaigns within a span of between 18 and 20 years. In 2019, former US President Donald Trump revoked a policy requiring US intelligence officials to publish the number of civilians killed in airstrikes outside of war zones. Both US lawmakers and rights groups criticized the decision, saying it could allow the CIA to conduct drone strikes without accountability and transparency. Although the Pentagon has recently overhauled the system to track civilian casualties caused by the US military, it is still slow to admit errors. And those the Pentagon acknowledges fall far short of what human rights groups track. The chaotic US military withdrawal from Afghanistan serves as a hasty wrap-up of its failure in the country. A humanitarian crisis marked by deaths and bloodshed is what it has truly left behind in the war-torn country. But Washington downplays the severity of its felony and is irresponsibly creating a security black hole in Afghanistan. John Hanna served as senior advisor for 2 former US presidents. On drone strikes, he once said, quote, "Ensure that we are doing everything possible to find the right balance that ensures American security, and yet at the same time ensures that we are not crossing that line into becoming a lawless nation." Whether the US has ever taken seriously any possible violations of international humanitarian law or just regard those killed as the reasonable costs of wars, the mounting civilian casualties may have told the answer.